Thank you, Honorable Mapisi.
Sali.
The next speaker on the podium will be Honorable Mayor, the MEC for Agriculture, Economic Development and Tourism in the Western Cape. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and honorable members in this House. Thank you for this opportunity to speak in this House. This is the upper house of Parliament, which is an important house because you represent the people of your various provinces. Thank you for the Democratic Alliance for sponsoring this debate. It is not only an important debate, it is a debate of national importance. Members of this House have two distinct responsibilities. Firstly, to support or amend legislation, and secondly, to protect the citizens of your respective provinces. People of your province want to hear where you stand in this debate. All of us were involved in the election 6 months ago on the 29th of May, and we have all witnessed in this House the suffering of people across South Africa. People are genuinely suffering, as pointed out during this debate. The price of food is rising, and now we are confronted with a 40% electricity tariff increase. This increase is unaffordable and it's killing our economy. Since 1994, electricity has increased by 1,700%. Skande. For the last 30 years, Eskom has punished the citizens of South Africa. We all know what happened at Eskom. In short, it was fraud, corruption, and maladministration. People are experiencing extreme poverty. The vulnerable, the working class, and the middle class are suffering. People need help because they cannot afford it. Businesses need help because they cannot afford it. The working class need help because they cannot afford it. The middle class need help because they cannot afford it anymore. It is now a daily struggle in South Africa. I met a businesswoman in Drakensberg and she said to me, Minister, Eskom is killing my business. The hairdressers cannot afford a 40% tariff increase. The pie shop, the bakery, the mechanic, the dressmaker, the hairdressers, the butchers, the abattoir, the coffee shop, nobody can afford this 40% tariff increase. The guy selling fish, fresh fish, needs help because he cannot afford this 40% tariff increase. The people that suffers the most are in the townships. The time to act is now. We must stop this increase now. NERSA is holding public hearings as we speak, as we debate today. Chair, and this debate taking place now in this House is providing both the context and the content for the public hearings. The context is the following: slow economic growth, high levels of unemployment, high input costs like electricity. Businesses are suffering while inflation is 4%. Eskom's tariff increase is 40%, 10 times the size of the current inflation rate. Shame on Eskom. This House must be united in our opposition to this tariff increase. We stand together in this crucial matter. I listened to earlier debate in this House. People have spoken against this tariff increase. We are now united because the government of national unity, Honorable Chair, has 3 priorities. Number 1, inclusive economic growth. This tariff increase will kill inclusive economic growth. The second priority of the GNU is to reduce poverty. Eskom's tariff increase will increase poverty. And the third priority of the government of national unity is to build a capable state. If you increase electricity 1,722%. You are not a capable state. We are now in this trouble because Eskom is not a capable state. In short, honorable members, Eskom is violating the 3 priorities of the government of national unity. And I now call on the government of national unity to take extra steps against Eskom. Eskom's proposal is working against all the principles of the GNU. Honorable members, we must protect the vulnerable and the cost of living. In the Democratic Alliance, under the DA, in the Western Cape, we put 7.1 billion rand aside to protect the citizens. We have also made provision for generators for every single municipality so that sewers don't run in water. We are currently using 4,000 megawatt from Eskom. We have a plan to generate 7,500 megawatt. In other words, more than what we are currently using from Eskom. And so, honorable members, we have already put 2,000 megawatt in the procurement. We have already secured 743 megawatt. Things are working. Every single municipality in the Western Cape are working. Midvaal in Gauteng is formally proceeding with plans to procure independent power producers and get rid of Eskom. A council resolution is already on the table. And so, honorable members, I see that none of you, I see all of you were born after 1994, before 1994. Honorable members, this was your food in 1994. Honorable Chair, this was the food in 1994. And today, it is a shame because this is no longer the food of 1994, and Eskom is the reason why this is now happening. And this increase is now taking away. Your potato will no longer be in your plate because of this increase. Your tomato will no longer be in your plate because of Eskom. Eskom is eating from your plate. 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 You won't see any of these, even your nyama won't be in your plate. Don't worry, your food. And so,
Order,
I
Chair.
am telling you,
Honorable Chairperson.
I am now telling you,
Sorry, there's a point of order. Can you resume your seat? Over to you.
Honorable Chair, arise.
There's a point of order here.
Arise in terms of Rule 69.
Yes.
Is it parliamentary to bring food in the house?
All right. No. Honorable Chief Whip. Honorable Chief Whip, your point of order is sustained. You cannot bring food in the house and eat it. So, you cannot bring food in the house, please.
I'm not eating. It's a demonstration.
Actually, you must get permission to demonstrate.
Which rule?
Huh?
I know the rules. Which rule?
No, I'm telling you.
Demonstration. Thank you, Honorable Chair. This is simply a demonstration. I thought the intellect in this House will allow me to proceed. So this is no more in your plate. Honorable Chair, this is no more in your plate because Eskom is now taking food from your table. Honorable members, there will be no more left. After this 40% increase, this is what you're going to eat. Eskom is taking food from your table. This is the sad reality. Honorable Chairperson, this 40% increase will lead to starvation, hunger, and poverty. I cannot imagine the depth of people's problems coming when this happens. This House has now a moral responsibility. You represent citizens in your province. You have a moral duty, a moral responsibility to stand up and say no more suffering for the people of my province in the Eastern Cape, in Mpumalanga, in KwaZulu-Natal, in the Free State, in the Western Cape, in the Eastern Cape, as well as Limpopo, and where else? And the Northern Cape. We want no more poverty. 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 No more
What actually
poverty.
is going on
No
in the
more
house?
poverty. And so, Honorable Chair, we are members of this House. We have a constitutional responsibility. We are adults. People are suffering. Let us take our responsibility serious. And so stop ESCOM. If you stop ESCOM, Honorable Chair, you can put food at least back on the... If we stop ESCOM, you can put Zonke back in the plate. At least you can have a potato back on your plate. If we stop ESCOM, we can have a tomato on your plate. If we stop ESCOM, we have some lekker goeders. Let us get ESCOM. If you stop ESCOM, people will be able to eat. Let us put food on your table. Let us create jobs. And say to ESCOM, I now formally propose that this House adopt a resolution to reject ESCOM's tariff increase. I thank you.
All right. Thank you, Honorable Mayor. The next speaker.
Honorable Chair, the Western Cape supports that suggestion. Thank you.
Who gave you the right to rise? No, you're out of order, Mr. Badenhorst. You cannot.
Can we have the food? We are hungry. Can we have the food?
Cannot.
Can we have the food?
Being recognized. Please respect the rules which are always flashing around. You cannot speak in the House here without being recognized. You only rise on a point of order. That was not a point of order. You only rise on a point of order or when you are called by the chairperson to come to the podium. I didn't call you. Please. Yeah. Rule 69. Rule 69. You can only rise on a point of order. That was not a point of order, Honorable Pat. That was not a point of order, Honorable Badenhorst. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah. Thank you, Honorable Chenge, for your input. The next speaker on the who's going to come to the podium is Honorable Skerkochal from the Free State.
Sorry, Chairperson, I don't have any toys, but I'll have toys in my speech. All right. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, and the most importantly, the hardworking South Africans who bear the brunt of Eskom's exorbitant electricity extortion. I speak not just as a member as the Democratic Alliance, but as a member of the millions of South Africans who are feeling the economic weight of skyrocketing electricity prices. These price hikes are not just a burden, they are an attack on the very people who wake up every day with dreams in their hearts to contribute to this nation we love. We as South Africans, black, white, colored, Indian, who worked tirelessly for decades, particularly after 1994, to forge a better South Africa. But Chairperson, as I listened to the debates this week, one thing became glaringly clear. Bad policy, or worse, the catastrophic mismanagement of policy has left South Africans in crisis. The consequences are not theoretically. They are real and painful. It's heartbreaking to see the parties who are blind to their own mistakes and unable to accept the responsibility for the harm they have caused. As Jomo Kenyatta, the first president of Kenya, wisely said, our mistakes are the stepping stones to our future's success, provided we learn from them and do not repeat them. This is an important lesson to us all, especially to the ANC, who would tragically remain stuck in the past, unwilling to face the truth of their own failures. Comrades, we must learn from our mistakes. if we are to have any chance of a brighter future. So take my GNU hand and let's build together. To the camouflage clan, honestly, your wardrobe might be the smartest move yet. It helps hide you from law enforcement, given your leadership's brazen criminality. To the PA or the AI speech, maybe consider holding an elective conference because your anointed leaders may soon lose his divine flavor. And of course, the populist circus, clan and red, your theatrics may dazzle, but cannot rewrite history. Follow me instead to provide a history lesson. Chairperson, I personally cannot and never want to make it seem that I will ever truly feel, comprehend, and understand what Black, colored, Indian, or then classified non-whites went through during apartheid. But when I decided to join politics, I made sure I joined a party that was on the right side of South African politics. And I feel that I'm compelled to correct a narrative that distorts South African history. Let me remind you of the history of the Democratic Alliance, a party that has fought consistently for equality and justice. In 1959, the Progressive Party was formed to confront apartheid. In 1961, Helen Suzman stood alone in Parliament opposing apartheid. In 1977, the Progressive Federal Party became the official opposition to the apartheid government. On the 7th of October 1977, Helen Zille exposed the death of Steve Biko with the headlines and the Brown Water Mail. On 1989, the Progressive Federal Party became the Democratic Party, still standing in opposition. In 1919, the Democratic Party helped negotiate the interim constitution, paved the way for the new democracy in South Africa. In 1999, the Democratic Party became the official opposition, representing the hopes and the dreams of millions of South Africa. In 2000, the DA was formed, making a new chapter in the fight for progressive South Africa.
Honorable Chair.
And in
There's a point of order. Can you take a seat here?
I rise on a point of order in terms of Rule 69 in conjunction with Rule 51, the irrelevance. History that honorable member is narrating has nothing to do with the topic at hand. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Can rule on that.
All right. Thank you, Honorable Chief Whip. I think, so sorry. I am an Honorable Rider, please. There's only one presiding officer now here. No. Honorable Chief Whip, your point of order is not sustained. Your point of order is not sustained. I think that it is the issue of debate. No. That's what is happening. We can continue.
Thank you, Chairperson. And when the new National Party prepared its principles and joined the ANC, the DA stood firm. Let it be known, Chairperson, that the DA has never supported apartheid or its policies. It has never been complicit in the injustices that tore this country apart. And yes, we are not perfect. No party is. But we've made mistakes and some of our individuals has failed to live up to our standards. But we are a party that deals decisively to those that stray away from principles. And we are a party that will always put South Africa first. We acknowledge the brutal reality of apartheid and colonialism. Acknowledge the damage that it did to our country and to our people. But we must also acknowledge that living in the past will not bring the future we deserve. We cannot afford to remain trapped in the cycles of blame and resentment. As much as we must confront the injustice of the past, we must also look forward. A future where South Africa rises to the beacon of hope in Africa. The debate in this House should be focused on the subjects and not the race baiting that we saw the past week. Chairperson, the issue at hand today is electricity prices, and make no mistake, it's not just a question of power, it's a question of dignity, opportunity, and justice. The tariff hikes are seeing today nearly 33% in the last 2 years. Another 40% increase on its way are devastating for South Africans, especially for the vulnerable. The families consuming 600 kilowatts per month, This means they now pay 1,600 per month, and those exceeding the threshold are forced to pay more. This is simply unaffordable. The price hikes are pushing families to the brink. They're forcing South Africans to cut back on basic needs, food, education, and healthcare. Households have to turn to unsafe alternatives like paraffin, candles, increasing fire hazards. Eskom has created a new ill to the society: energy poverty. Small businesses, the backbone of our country, are disappropriately burdened by the rising electricity prices. Manufacturers who power our economy are losing competitively daily. This results in job losses, business closures, and rising unemployment. Let's not forget the ripple effect on prices increases. At the cost of electricity prices, the price of goods and services from transport to food production. Inflation increases, purchasing power declines. The economy stagnates. That follows creates a vicious cycle that perpetuates poverty and inequality. South Africans cannot afford this. Load shedding has only exacerbated this crisis. The frustration and the anger of ordinary people have led to protests, strikes, a reflection of social unrest bubbling just beneath the surface. South Africans are fed up with mismanagement of Eskom, corruption, and the failure to provide reliable, affordable energy. Chairperson, the DA solutions are grounded in evidence in real work success. Our approach is a practical, result-oriented, and above all, people-centered. We must liberalize the economy sector. The DA believes that Eskom's monopoly must be broken. We must allow municipalities and private producers to generate and produce electricity independently. This will create competition, reduce costs, increase supply stability. The DA-led City of Cape Town is already leading the way in this approach. The result speaks for itself: lower energy costs, fewer power outages, a more sustainable energy future. We must professionalize Eskom. We cannot continue to allow corruption and mismanagement to drain the resources needed to keep the lights on. Transparent government, accountable leadership without cadres are key to delivering reliable energy to South Africans. We must protect the most vulnerable. The DA advocates for subsidies for low-income households to cushion the impact of rising electricity costs. We cannot believe in incentivizing electricity-sufficient appliances and which will help to reduce the overall demand. We have seen in DA-governed municipalities like George that program, such as solar panel grants for households and small business, are already providing success. We must invest in renewable energy, moving towards green, clean solutions. We can create jobs in the green economy while reducing South Africa's reliance on the vital fossil fuel prices. The future is renewable, and the time to South Africa embrace is now. Chairperson, in closing, the electricity crisis in South Africa is not just about energy. It's about equity. It's about justice. It's about ensuring all South Africans, regardless race, class, or background, have.
Excuse me, on what are you raising, Honorable?
Thank you, Chair. I just want to check if honorable member can take a question.
Sorry, Chairperson, I don't have a big enough whiteboard to draw all the pictures to give my answers, so the answer is no.
He's not going to take a question. Can you resume your seat?
Sorry,
All background have access to resources they need to live with dignity. It's about a future where energy is affordable, reliable, and sustainable, that ensures an affordable energy is a right, not a privilege. Honorable Chairperson, the time for change is now. Let us rise to the occasion, restore the hope and the dignity and the opportunity that all South Africans deserve. Let us put power back in the hands and keep the lights on. I thank you.
The next speaker on the program is going to be Honorable Dlamini from the Free State.
Honorable House Chair, all protocol, observed from the beginning of the debates, indeed respected. Exposing selection bias and political opportunism. Why the DA conclusions generated from grossly unrealistic assumptions cannot, as a matter of fact, be possible correct. From the very start, the ANC has criticized the escalating electricity tariffs from various less pedestrian reasons and has suggested amendments or
Chairperson.
alternatives.
The
Chair,
point of order, over to you.
yes,
Honourable
thank
Manani.
you. I want to stand on Rule 47 in terms of what Honorable Mukai is doing to the speaker.
Right. No, Honorable Manani, so your point of order is sustained. Your point of order is sustained. You must stop doing that, Honorable Mukai.
In its diagnostic analysis, the ANC found that ESCOM and municipal electricity tariffs approved by the National Electricity Energy Regulator of South Africa, NERSA, condemn our democracy to an entirely bleak destiny. This debate occurred in the National Assembly, and the same debate is now brought here. And the ANC is still holding the same position on the subject matter in this August House. The debate is now restricted to the recovery by ESCOM of 8 billion, retrospectively due to the shortfall in revenue allowance. And this occurs procedurally through the regulatory clearing account, which balances any over-recovery or under-recovery in tariffs. In this case, there was an under-recovery. This, by the way, was a decision of the court. And as parliamentarians, we need to consistently uphold the independency of the courts and judiciary. The point of departure for the ANC is that the continuous increase in the price of electricity are placing financial burden on households, with the working class and poor being most affected. The working class and poor are now facing energy poverty with less disposable income. It is to these concerns of the people that we need to address potential solutions, not point fingering on our proposal to the minister. ESCOM and NERSA must be balanced, and as implementation of any proposal must not have intended consequences for the functioning of ESCOM, NERSA, or municipalities. While it is now admitted in the DA camp that NERSA, once a cornerstone of the electricity market, has become a very unpleasant and inefficient regulator in the smooth functioning of the electricity market, the ANC has a different argument that is in the main the less concern about the so-called flagrant abuse of regulatory power in DA argument, but still logical. Nonetheless, Honorable Chair, wherein lies the problem? If the country were all buying electricity from ESCOM at R1.78 per kilowatt, I suppose there will be no debate on the price of electricity. What is demonstrated is that the problem of high electricity tariffs is not an ESCOM problem. It is one of municipalities which add on high margins to electricity tariffs for different reasons to cross-subsidize other activities. The ANC argues that something has gone terribly wrong with the municipal year price determination. methodology, as well as it embedded the regulatory clearing account and benchmarking methodology used when setting electricity tariffs increases for ESCOM and municipal distributors. The DA myopically views high electricity tariffs at only one end of the value chain and does not examine the other side, as he has vested interest in not raising the other side, given that the city of Cape Town has the highest electricity cost in this country, and opt that introduction of surcharge, which it is known is double charge for Western Cape and Tshwane residents. Tshwane, of course, is one of the DA control municipality, which owes ESCOM money and is driving electricity cost high. On the other hand,
The point of order.
I just want to inquire whether this member will take a question, sir.
no, Chair, there is no time for question, it's time to debate.
Taking a question.
On the other hand, the benchmarking methodology increased municipality tariffs above cost living, thereby unjustifiably benefiting municipal distributors like the city of Cape Town to generate super revenue from the sales of electricity and at the expense of poor and working class households. A good illustration of this, Honorable Chair, is that the city of Cape Town purchases electricity from ESCOM at R1.78 and charges the poor and the working class household R3.44 per kilowatt. For the first,
Point of order, Chair.
for the first 600,
All right, thank you. On what rule?
Rule 61B. No delegate may deliberately make a statement which the delegate knows to be false. Yes, I am.
Your point of order is not sustained. Point of debate. Over to you.
The DA notes your bias, Chair.
Honorable Badenhorst, you must never do that again. No, you'll be thrown out. You'll be thrown out. You'll be thrown out. Over to you, Honorable Dlamini.
based on this critique, amendments of the Electricity Regulation Act and the Electricity Pricing Policy have been put forth. And in turn, amendments on these pieces of
All right,
legislation.
There's a point of order.
Thank you, Honourable
Honorable,
Chair.
that's on what are you rising?
I rise on a point of order in terms of Rule 61, 1B. This honourable member made reference, and she said in a speech that the city of Tshwane is controlled by the DA. That is false. And I think the member should know it's false. It is controlled by the ANC.
All right, thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Honorable Press. Your point of order is not sustained. You have a member who can respond to that. Thank you. Over to you.
Please, bias.
Based on this critique, amendments of the Electricity Regulation Act and the Electricity Pricing Policy have been put forth. And in turn, amendments to these pieces of legislation will serve as a guide to NERSA in the regulation of the electricity market in a manner that be deemed rational, thereby resulting in the predictable and stable electricity tariffs. The Electricity Regulation Act, which President Ramaphosa has signed into law recently, will bolster the NERSA's proposed interim electricity methodology predicted on three principles, namely activity-based costing, differential loan profiles, and marginal price tariffs. Chair, For a moment, I thought that this country is moving forward after democracy. But today, Honorable Chair, with the demonstrations and displayed that the DA put in this August House, I'm reminded, Chair, to respond as follows. If the ANC, the DA honestly championing the interest of the poor, this plate demonstrated full of food today, Chair, was the land in the hands of poor.
There's a point of order. On what are you raising, Honorable Mayor?
I'm rising, Honorable Chair, in this august house.
Which rule are you writing on? No. All right, no. I'm
Honorable-
addressing you, Honorable Mayor.
Honorable,
I said, on what rule are you
Honorable
rising?
Speaker, I am talking to you now, but can you
What
please?
rule are you rising?
I'm now rising.
the point of principle. Raise the point.
I'm,
No.
Rule 69. I am.
All right,
I-
all right, all right. All right, all right. Don't point finger at me. Don't point fingers at me, Honorable Badenhorst. You know what the English say? The English say that the emptiest vessels makes the most noise. Please don't do that. Because you are exposing yourself on something else. Yes. You are exposing yourself as if you are a fundi of the rules, whereas you are so ignorant. On what
Honor-
rule what
I'm-
you can
I'm-
do, Honorable Chair, you can rise on a rule. If you don't know the rule, you can raise the principle you are rising on.
I'm
Please,
raising-
one of the two.
I'm raising on the principle of the matter. This is a very important house. And in this house, there's now a resolution in this house that the DA is running Tshwane, and you've ruled in that effect. Effectively, you have now reappointed Celia Brink as the mayor of Tshwane. Because you have now said the DA is running. If
No,
the DA
that's
is
not what
running,
the statement
Celia
said.
Brink
That's not
is
what
the
the,
mayor.
you should listen properly.
agree
That's
that
not what she
Celia Brink
said.
is the mayor?
This is
You
not-
wanted to reread the speech,
this is
but
not your-
what you are saying is wrong. No, that is wrong.
Now,
No,
in
no.
Celia Brink,
Oh, that's
you
not
have
what,
ruled
that's not what she said.
mayor of Tshwane.
That's not what she said. You must listen properly. That's not what she said. She said under a DA in Tshwane.
Honorable Ndise, please, you can only speak on the mic when I recognize. Honorable Mayor, your point of order is not sustained.
Honorable Chair, I respect your ruling.
Order.
Thank you very much, but I will inform Celia Brink.
Over to you, Honorable Dlamini.
Chairperson,
All right, on what are you rising?
I rise on Rule 62. Chairperson, in your exchange with Honourable Badenhorst, you didn't refer to him as Honourable. And I would just like to know whether Rule 62, which refers to a delegate that may not refer to any delegate by his or her first name or last name, I would like to know whether that extends to the chair as well.
Make a
No,
ruling.
no, it's fine. I recognize that. Honorable, the Honorable Badenhorst, the so-called Honorable Badenhorst. Over to you.
Chair, the plate that was bought by DA in the house today,
Honorable Chair, I would very much like to know if the honorable member
the full plate
is
is a
prepared to take a very intelligent question.
All right, thank you, Honorable Mayor. I think the speaker on the podium has refused to take a question from Honorable Press. What makes you think that she's going to take it? So please take a seat.
Honorable Chair, on a
No,
matter of principle,
no.
you have now ruled on her question. She must answer the question. It is inappropriate for you to answer a question that she's supposed.
The guest
I will accept.
The guest chair.
I will accept. If she say no, I will sit down. But from the chair,
What you, Honorable Dlamini?
Honorable
Honorable
Chair,
Chair,
No.
I will
Honorable Chair.
accept if she say no.
Honorable Chair, I'm not
Honorable
taking
Chair.
the question.
You cannot answer her question. This house is a mockery. If you answer a question on her behalf, then this house is a mockery. I am rather than going to.
Do not refer to this house as a, you are turning the house into
Okay,
a
and you
mockery.
withdraw.
No, Chair. No,
You
no,
withdraw.
no.
And answer her question. She is capable to answer a question.
Take your seat.
If she tell me,
Honorable
if she say no, I will sit down.
Sergeant of Arms.
But this house is a mockery.
Remove him, let him
This
go.
house is a mockery, and I am prepared to leave.
Cannot refer.
I am prepared to leave
Remove
with
him.
this plate of food. Honorable
Let-
Chair,
let
I
him go
cannot
with
sit
his
in this
rotten
house.
food.
This is a mockery. I'm happy to leave.
Let him go with his rotten food.
Remove him.
I'm now asking my delegates to leave with me. We leave this house.
You can
All
all
members of the
go.
Democratic Alliance, we
You
leave.
can go.
These people are sent by, they are representing provinces. They are representing their provinces. See in their provinces. No. Hamba kahle.
Go with your rotten food.
Don't make your articles.
Ash out the blackboard. I said, escort the member out.
Let him go with his plastic bag.
Thank you, honorable members. Honorable Dlamini, you can go on.
Thank you, Honorable House Chair. The plate is not plating. It will never plating. We knew it. Because this plate, when whites come into this country, they found it very full of land in the hands of poor and black people. And if indeed the DA is championing the interest of black people in this country, we want to see DA, Honorable Chair, championing the land question, be at the forefront. We want to do that. We want to see that. Two, if DA indeed have the interest of our people at heart, we want to see DA supporting Bella Act. Thirdly, if indeed the DA is championing the interest of poor people as they display themselves today, we want to see them championing the NHI in this country. The Minister of Electricity, Honorable Kgosientsho Ramokgopa, July 29, it was on Monday, Honorable Chair, made a commitment to the citizens of this country that his department and all relevant stakeholders in the energy industry are going to ensure that these electricity hikes and the tariffs that we are talking about today indeed will find an expression, because at no point we are going to allow, as the ANC, to send our people in a deep end whilst the cost of living, it is in this state, Chair. And the African National Congress, still the leader of the society, the African National Congress still represent the interest of the black people in this country. Hence, Honorable Chair, all the times our policies will speak to the interest of our people. Hence, Honorable Chair, the African national policies will ensure that we continuously change the lives of our people, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chairperson, the ANC, it's a democratic movement.
That's a false statement.
And we allowed everyone to be with us. And that, Chair, doesn't suggest that
Honorable Chair,
the ANC,
Right, on what are you raising?
will the member take a question?
Are you going to take a question, Honorable?
no, it's a debating time. It's not a question and
Didn't write their
answer.
own speech, that's why.
Honorable Badenhorst, please, when the chairperson has made a ruling, you must respect that. You can only speak when you are recognized by the chairperson or when you make a point of order. So your last gesture is wrong. Over to you, Honorable Dlamini.
Iqiniso liyababa, niti yababa.
Somebody else.
The truth is very painful. Especially when you think that you are speaking the truth and you are championing the truth only to find that you are doing the opposite. It's very painful. You cannot stomach it. Honorable Chair, the African National Congress will continuously, under the leadership of Minister and the collective, ensure that the electricity hikes, it is indeed find expression. And further to that, Chairperson, at the same time, we are going to make sure as the ANC that the decisions of the court are protected in this land. Thirdly, Chairperson, the ANC is going to make sure that the high cost of living also find an expression. This is also emphasized and overemphasized even in this house by the President of this country, His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa. He explicitly explained the issue of how his cabinet, which include, of course, DA, will tackle the issue of high cost of living. Now, we are expecting, Chairperson, because the DA is in the GNU, to come up with solutions to the economic challenges that we are confronted with. Not unless what is happening, Honorable Chair, in the city of Cape Town in terms of electricity, it's a worse madness than the one that Honorable Ryder referred to earlier on in his speech. In closing, Chair, we are not going to be defocused as the ANC. We are not going to be deterred. We are resolute in terms of making sure that we change the lives of our people in this country. And no amount of intimidation and full plates will make us to lose the focus, because indeed the full plate was not fully enough for the owner of the plate to listen. Thank you very much, Chair.